In Search of Old Resources task in Lake Ribiere, Quebec. Hello there everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of SnowRunner here at Oberfed Gaming. I am the Oberfed. Today we are going to attempt to deliver a prototype exploration unit with our PLAD 450 to the Northern Tower. Now you might think that's a little bit overkill, and if you'd be thinking that, you'd be right on the money. We tried for an extended period of time with the crane to try and put that exploration unit on the back deck and just block it. And I just got frustrated and didn't want to go the way I wanted to go, so I just said, okay, forget it. We'll just winch it over there. We'll tow it over there. Now, with that little machine behind the PLAD, it's really not much of a problem for him. So it's basically, we're just basically driving the PLAD over to the Northern Tower, which is always interesting too. You do still have to kind of keep an eye on the exploration unit to make sure that he stays on his wheels anyhow, although they do every once in a while flip around a little bit back there. Now as we're coming down to this little track slash goat trail, you can see where the tracks kind of go straight down. I can't see it just yet, but now you can see it there in between those pine trees, and then it turns to the right. But if you go that way, you can see the rocks by the water there are all broken up and you can't get through. So we're just going to turn right here, and we're going to just sneak by that tree and hope, and we're going to hope that that ice is hard enough to hold us. And it does look like it is. So not a problem, just a little bit of outside the box thinking as we create our own little detour. We don't have to wait for the game to create it for us. And then we're just going to claw along the side of the hill here for a little ways before we make our way down to ice level. Now, whenever I have a other vehicle on the map, if they're anywhere nearby, I usually put them in positions where they can show which way you got to go, or they're like mobile fuel stations. And just so as it happens, just up ahead on the track here is our trusty old Tuz 420 Terran. Tuz, I call him. And he is going to show us the way and give us a little bit of fuel at the same time, because I noticed that we're down just over 160 some odd liters of fuel out of 300. Now, we still have spare fuel on the roof, but we got to go across ice. And if you get stuck in the ice anywhere, sometimes it takes a little bit of time and a lot of extra fuel. So if you have an opportunity to pick up some fuel when you're on a journey where you think you might need it, always do it. And here's the Tuz now. So we're just gonna, took the turn a little bit wide. Gonna take the sign out, but I think we'll leave it this time. And we're just gonna quickly fuel up. There we go. And he gave us a little bit. And we're gonna carry on. Now we got a full tank and we don't have to worry about running out of fuel. And now that we're back here on ice level, now it's not so bad here because we're at the side of the lake, and this would be solid ground if there wasn't any snow or anything around. But in a second here, we're going to drive onto the ice. And when you're on the ice, always take a look to see if you can see any tracks. Because if there's tracks on the ice, that means that somebody has gone there before you. And if somebody has gone there before you, chances are that the ice is strong enough to hold you too. So this is what I usually go by, and then just go a little bit slower than normal. You don't have to go 100 miles an hour, and that way, if the ice does give way, which it has done quite often on me in different paths, I'll tell you that. But if the ice gives way, you can usually back up out of it. Now, if you go a little bit faster, or you don't stop going if the front end starts to dip down into the water, then you're going to create all sorts of problems for yourself. Well, that's not going to be an issue for us. We're following the tracks here, and they go into a little bit of a moon here, and then we can go just follow straight across the ice here and go towards the hill. You can see there's a little snowy area on the side of the hill. And we're going to attempt to climb up there, because we got to get up onto the road, because the northern tower is accessed up the highway from that main road. So we got to get up there one way or another. And I think there's tracks going up, as you can see. And that's another giveaway. When you want to try an area like this and you're not sure if you can go up there for the first time, if somebody's been up there and there's tracks there, obviously you can. But I try a lot of these kinds of tracks willy-nilly out of the blue just to see if they'll work sometimes. And I tell you, there is some carefully hidden fantastic shortcuts in this game. But you got to explore it. You got to do a lot of exploring, and that's the fun part of the game. Now we're just going to continue to try and drag this little thing up here. You gotta turn her tight. Oh, I think that tree's going to be in the way. The truck is a little large. Now the Avonhorn goes up and down here a little bit easier because he's a little bit shorter truck. But doesn't mean the Plaid's not going to make it. There we go. And then once we get up on the highway here, then it's just a matter of following it out until we got to turn off the highway. The last little leg. We got a little ways to go here. We got a little ways to go, and it's a good thing that we got the Plaid because he's got the chains on, so he's not gonna. We don't have to worry about slipping and sliding on the road too much. Even the little hill that's in front of us there, if you didn't have chains, would pose a little bit of a problem. But whenever you drive a vehicle that doesn't have chains and you're in an area like this, just stick to the side of the road so that your tires on the one side drive in the snow, and you should get enough traction to be able to get up the hill. That's usually what I do, because sometimes there is no two ways around it. I've used the Kenworth before, and the Kenworth doesn't have chains, and I've used them in the snow successfully. So just keep that in mind. You can always find a little bit of traction on the side of the road somewhere. Now, we got a little ways to go before we get to our turn off. So this is basically just a Sunday drive for the Plaid. Except for that first little part where we had to come down off the mountain and then over the ice. Now we got a few little snow drifts across the highway here. Very common up in Canada, Quebec, Canada. And it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. It slows you down for a second, but not too much. Now the drop-off arrow in the yellow diamond is up on the screen. We can't see it at the moment because we're going around in a circle, a half moon, and it keeps disappearing. But we've got a road to take that is way up the highway, all the way up to the tunnel to go to Harbor. We got a little detour here, not much of a problem. It's just a little bit of a snow out of the road, I guess you can call it. Maybe we'll get some backhoes over here soon enough to clean all that up. In the meantime, we're going to follow it up all the way up to the tunnel. And just before you go into the tunnel, and I do believe the tunnel is still locked because we haven't fixed that yet. Just before you go to the tunnel entrance, we turn off to the right. And it should not be too much further up the road, I believe. What an absolutely wonderful game, though. Another great job under the belt. Pretty soon all the tasks and the contests will be done, and then we can start working on the contracts, and those are going to take a little while. As you know, each contract has quite a few jobs in them, quite a few tasks, and every task can have multiple items that you've got to deliver. Now here's the tunnel straight ahead of you, and we have to turn just beside this little house here to the right, head off towards the northern tower up here. Now we've only been in here, I believe, once, and that was right when we first got to Quebec, when we were scouting things out. So I'm not too familiar with this area, But it should be pretty straightforward. It looks like there's only two ways you can go here, and it looks like the arrow is up towards the left, the top where the tower is, and the right goes down. So logic would dictate that we have to turn left here, and that's what we're going to do. Yeah, it's going to slowly climb up the hill here. The PLAD is almost as good as the Avonhorn. You put him in automatic and he chugs along pretty good. But the Avonhorn, I like it because the high range and the low gear keeps him going at a steady pace. The PLAD still, every once in a while, shifts down, and if you put him in low, he goes pretty slow. So we're going to try and keep him in this gear. Now we can see the tower up ahead there. We're just going to turn to the left and cut in, and we're almost there. Another great delivery. I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe even got a little tip or a trick out of it. Maybe you came just to watch for the fun of it, and that's great too. Watch the video, and I hope you enjoy it. Like it and share it with your friends. If you don't want to miss any of the upcoming videos, and we got some good ones coming up, hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, you've been delivering a prototype exploration unit with a PLAD 450 in Lake Ribiere, Quebec, with me as your driver. You'll perfect.